Alright, so before we continue, just to stop you here, we have an awesome giveaway going on where you can win a game of your choice. Thank you to Instant Gaming. All you need to do is click the link in the description below. But on top of that, these guys do a bunch of really cool Marvel games that literally cost hardly anything. These games are so cheap alongside a bunch of different games. You can pre-order Marvel's Avengers on there. There's a bunch of Avengers stuff and Spider-Man as well. And the prices are absolutely insane. You can save yourself a ton. Check them out. The link is in the description below and enter the giveaway. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we have some very cool things to go over in this video. Some things from last year that people have just completely forgotten about, me included in that. Now, before we dive into the video, I got a question for you guys because I want you to leave your honest predictions in the comments below as to when you think we will get either some new gameplay or a new trailer from this game. So I want you to leave, like I said, a realistic prediction in the comments below, and the ones that you think that most, I guess, make the most sense, just go ahead and actually thumbs it up, and let's see who will actually be correct. Now, don't forget to drop a like. As always, it allows us to reach more people in the community, and to subscribe if you have not already. Now, I would like to give a shout out to this person, as I stumbled across this video and was indeed that person who actually forgot this even existed. So I went and rewatched the whole Tokyo Game Show gameplay for this Avengers game, which is in the background, that actually shows the actual, I guess, raw aspect of the 8-day demo. Now, when going through this, there are a ton of hidden gems. Now, first of all, to kick it off, I want to start with this Captain America suit that has now, I guess, not even still been in any type of gameplay or trailer that we've seen as it stands, and it was at Comic-Con last year. Now, of course, what we have here, this Steve Rogers Falcon alternate costume. How many costumes each character will have at launch, I'm not actually sure, but nonetheless, this is something that they've not shown since. I'm very excited to see more on this one, as of course what we see here is only the torso, and again, that was in the presentation last year. So why they haven't shown this in any screenshots or any of the trailers, I have absolutely no idea, but it really does lead to the big question of, well, how many suits is each character actually going to have at launch that doesn't necessarily have to be one of the ones that will be part of the whole microtransactions, of course. Now, starting off with the gameplay. So now, well, should I say, in the Iron Man gameplay demo, as you can see here, we have the HUD. Now, I'm going to assume this has probably been upgraded from then, but from here, we see some pretty cool key features that actually make you really feel like Iron Man. I mean, for example, seeing your range, your altitude, etc. Back last year when I was able to play the demo as well, this is all kind of bringing flashbacks. So, first of all, how much has been upgraded since then, I have no idea, but of course, just seeing your range, altitude, and so forth, it actually leads me quickly over to the next point in terms of controls for Iron Man. So here as well, we see how easy it would just be to ascend / descend, which is basically just X and circle, at least at that point anyway, so pretty straightforward. Now, one thing in this version of the gameplay though is how smooth it looks seeing Iron Man move a bit more freely. So just running, you can see the lights under the boots, which I think look great, and again, just very smooth. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to ask the question of, well, with the enemies, their health bars on top, etc., all the numbers popping out, you know, which of course is essentially how much damage you're doing really, can that be toggled on and off? I have to say, I have absolutely no idea. All we know that was officially confirmed is, of course, that green thing could be turned off, but I would imagine that these health bars and so forth would more than likely be something you could toggle on and off, as I guess that would kind of fall under the category of the difficulty. So yeah, I would imagine that's kind of like a must. Now, also, credit to Spoonzill here for pointing this part out. So he can actually charge up the 4 mini rockets into one charged homing rocket, which I think is absolutely amazing. And again, you can see in the HUD, you got 3 rockets, and of course you can just, I guess, just smoothly transition between the both. Now, moving on to 4, we got the whole, you know, press L1 to trigger Warrior's Furyk heroic power, and then of course throwing Thor's hammer is just a simple L2 to aim, and then holding both L L2 and R2 will throw the hammer to your enemy, gluing them to a truck in this case, which of course you can then call back, which is a really cool feature. And also worth pointing out that there is a heroic for Thor, which right here is called God Blast, and for Captain America we have Steamroller. Now, interesting enough as well for Cap though, L1 and R1 also allows you to use a Brooklyn Brawl heroic. Again, these will be switched up. Now, more on Iron Man. Again, credit to Spoonzilla on this part because he mocked this together, and what we have are some breakdowns in terms of, I guess, the whole melee aspect and a bunch more. So, kicking it off right here, of course, we have the fact that you can do an uppercut. Again, this is Spoonzilla's theory, but it all makes sense. I mean, just taking a look at this. So we've got the uppercut, and then we got ground slam. Then for the repulsors, we got, of course, obviously the repulsor. Then we have a heavy attack slash charged repulsor, which I think makes sense. Again, the lasers as well. We got the precision laser, heavy attack laser sweep, and in-air heavy attack laser. So again, these are very simple, and it really makes sense. Now again, he does point out here that it is seen on the Tokyo Game Show A-Day, but you got the 4 mini lock-on rockets that explode. Now, moving on to the next thing over here, it's essentially more of a breakdown as well, which I think is really great. So, first of all, we got the support heroic ability. Is this a mini shield? We've got taunting as well. I really feel like this is a thing. We've I guess, seen the emotes that they've shown, like the 10-second GIFs for, really. So, that's definitely going to be a thing. Cooldown reduction, bubble shield, and healing beam. I mean, the bubble shield is kind of like an obvious one, really, in a way. That I can see where that's going. Then we got the uni beam, we got the ability to freeze, cooldown reduction, electric possibly, and then of course cooldown reduction, which will be stage 2, which you can upgrade. Then we got smart rockets, again cooldown reduction, possibly electric alongside fire. And then we got the big green, I'd imagine it's going to be anyway, health, which is possibly healing. And then of course for defense, we know that Iron Man can barrel roll, so again that is going to be there. And again, if that's going to go in stages as well, or different types of flips, I have no idea, but barrel rolling is one of the ones we've seen. Now these are great ones here. So we got laser sweep, the other laser, and smart rockets. So we got in air heavy attack, heavy attack, and then ultimate heroic ability. So I mean, here we go in kind of got a breakdown. So for example, with the precision laser equipped, press triangle to activate a sweeping beam that cuts through enemies, inflicting stun and wound damage, which is just triple triangle, I guess. Again, damage low, impact low, stun high, status damage, wound, and then of course skill points. It will cost you, again, 4 out of 0. These are just examples, for instance. So then we got with the, of course, precision laser equipped, press triangle while in the air, which is the in-air heavy attack, will basically pull enemies into the air, kind of like Spider-Man in a way when you support them up with your web. Of course, this is just Iron Man, and then you just slam them back down to the ground. Then we got smart rockets, L1 and R1, to fire a spread of seeking rockets that can target up to 5 enemies. Rockets inflict collateral damage on detonation, breaks enemy block, impact medium, reaction, flyback. So again, these are all things, I mean, we can see precision laser required, the other required, and then of course one is already acquired. So these, I guess it really gives you a better perspective, and it's something interesting. Now, going on to the last thing that's worth pointing out, which is by a very trustworthy source, because he's an actual combat designer, developer, whatever you want to call him, for this Avengers game. I was digging through some more responses that he has made on Reddit, and actually stumbled across this one here, which is about flying. So he actually replied to someone saying that you can absolutely fly all around like you'd expect. You can even use any of Iron Man's weapons whilst sprint flying, all of which have a custom functionality separate from when they are used either on the ground or hovering. We also have special flight attack maneuvers as part of his skill tree progression. If you wanted, you could play Iron Man as a pure dive bombing aerial support character and make strafing runs as your combat style. So I think that's an interesting fact to know. I mean, for me as it stands right now, as far as confirmed characters go, anticipated ones to play is definitely in order going Iron Man, Thor, and then Captain America, and then the others, Hulk, etc. So that's kind of my list, but again, how many characters are going to be at launch, we don't know yet. But that leads me on to the next video, which is going to be released like 2 hours after this one, which is relating to this screenshot as well, where it looks like Iron Man is possibly calling in another Ultimate. But guys, I'm going to see you in that video, which means that wraps this one up. So subscribe for more awesome content if you haven't already. Have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day, and until the next one, adios amigos.